Hello and very warm welcome to this special podcast series called Digital Mandate, wherein we speak to some senior technology leaders of different sizes from different company and trying to understand as to how they are using technology, how they are actually serving the customer. And today I'm very happy to let you know that I'm joined by Mr. Atul Gaurav, co-founding member, head IT and HR at Zeal Financial Technologies Private Limited, and the brand which is more popular is Z First. So, Mr. Gaurav, thank you so much for taking out time for this podcast series. Let me begin by asking you what we are observing across different layers of NBFC or even the large BFSI organization. There is a lot of diversity in terms of also the requirement of the customers. So the large bank possibly serve in a different way. The NBFC has a different kind of mandate, the different kind of requirement from customer. Would you like to share what is the trend are you witnessing both from the customer expectation perspective and how technology is coming into the picture in terms of solving or possibly enabling those expectations in some way?
Absolutely. So thank you so much for to take me on board on this podcast. To your question, sir, preferably, as I say, when you see the bigger banks, be it the SBI, the PSUs, and the bigger, private banks, the international banks, they are so big that a small change, putting it down the line, takes so much of time.
Yes.
And at the same time, cost and other stuffs are there. While there are certain NBFCs, which are again also in the A segment, which are like Bajaj is there, and many other players are
yes.
There also the challenge is similar to what I can see, for the banks. The only difference here is that the process and the policies in bank is more, standard, and they are fine to not serve to those set of customers where they feel that we don't want that.
Right.
Fine. And for that segment, you will see some mid-segment NBFCs, and then there is fintech.
Right.
This trend has been going since beginning. If you see the down the line last 10, 15 years, the banks were there, the NBFCs came up, NBFC got matured, then you got, the mid-segment NBFCs, then you got the fintech space.
Right.
Everything comes down to one point, that is how fast you can do that.
Right. Right.
No one was bothered down the line 5 years that how the middle or the MSME segment customers are being treated. What are the customer services that you are going to offer them?
Right.
Let's say if a customer is coming down to a NBFC, and preferably I'll say in the banks as well. And if you go and ask them that I want a bank statement,
right,
or if I want a loan statement, they will charge you for that.
Yes, yes, yes.
The reason is there is a set process, there is a set cost behind it. But for us, because we are new age technology companies, we have that adaptability, we have that mindset that we need to serve this customer base.
Right.
And at the same time, bank also feel, or the NBFCs, bigger NBFCs also feel that it is the right way and the right approach to reach the target segment.
Right.
So for us, it is pretty clear that while you come down to this segment of customer,
right,
you have to be very precise in the offering. Banks have been doing liability part, the asset part, both. Liability, they have multiple variations. In NBFCs, they have a lending standard pattern. If they do HFC, they are doing HFCs. The people who are doing into secure lending lab, they are doing secure lab. The companies which are bigger companies who are doing unsecured loan, they are preferably doing unsecured.
Right.
While it come down to us, we have customized, or we have made a tailored made approach where I can serve a customer who want a secure loan.
Right.
I can serve a customer who want an unsecured loan.
Right.
I can even give a line of credit to a customer who is willing to have a line of credit. So with fintechs and for the organizations like that first, we build that capability in the system. We have built that approach, the network across the geographies in the India. This is quite easy and efficient for us.
Okay.
At least I have a physical presence in every tier 3, 4, 5 cities.
Why you are able to go out to a very far-flung area, serve it, because you have the technology stack which is robust and in place, and it gives you a lot of visibility across your customer. And these days are the time where there are a lot of deployment and experimentation with AI, machine learning, and blockchain is happening, both by the large organization and the smaller one. And they are at different level of their own exploration process altogether. What is your assessment of these emerging technology? How do you feel that these are going to have a far-reaching impact, both on the bigger BFSI, NBFC, and the fintech organization as well? Because for cloud native company, all these are quite easy in a way that you are cloud native, Kubernetes, microservice is on the go. But for a traditional organization like SBI and all, it will be quite difficult, right?
Absolutely. So I'll tell you with my experience, I don't want to quote the name of the organization, but way back in 2018, I joined 2017 precisely.
Right.
I joined the company was a startup. Now they are very close to the IPO and all. We were about to, deploy the mobile applications for the field staff.
Right.
Now, while I joined and I met the people, I was coming up from a very, background from Mumbai and MNC culture and also I used to meet the CXOs and all. But while I joined that company, I met people who are like 12th pass out, initial level of graduates and all. So when I met them and I proposed them that, you can do it far easy. You don't have to carry your paper and all. There was a ruckus. There was a, the acceptance was tough. And this is the nature of human. They do not accept anything new. The ecosystem, anyone who's coming outside has to be more stringent, more strong in order to convince and in order to ensure you adapt it.
Yes.
It took me 6 months to roll out that mobile application across network. Probably 130, 150 branches were there. Close to 1,500 employees were there. And to ask to ensure the training component, awareness component, the handheld. So we bought around 500, 700 devices. We distributed free of cost. We deployed the application. Then the data security, VPNs, everything were there in place. And that was all free of cost. We just said you have to use this mobile.
Yes.
That was tough. That was genuinely tough. And it took me around 6 months. And then down the line, another 6 months, it was all good. That was one era. Cut to when we started Z First. We were having many discussions with investors, market players, mentors. We wanted that our customer should have our mobile application. There should be something where I can reach to the customer very easy. Because COVID, was one of the factor where I learned that.
Yes.
That if we didn't get email from the customers. You have phone number, that too prepaid number. That get changed very frequently.
Absolutely.
Now, while the loan has to be restructured, you need a consent from the customer and that was not getting happening. So CGT MSME was the biggest product which government evolved at the time of COVID. But we were not able to crack it way efficiently, as I say, but that gave me an idea that there should always be a touch point where you should reach your customer, be it whatever is the situation. At least you have some data point, location, phone number, XYZ, address, whatever is that. Now, while we started, we said that without our mobile application, no one is going to have a loan. There was huge disagreement, disagreement in team, disagreement from mentors, from investors and everywhere. And we executed it well and we were successful. We have served around 40,000 customers where the loans has been disbursed. We have like lakhs of customers where we have done the underwriting, and on Play Store we have an app which is like 1 lakh plus download.
Yes,
1 lakh plus download is not that easy for a lending application to get into, but there is a conversion. You just have to be clear in your head, and at the same time you need people like whosoever is the customer. You just need to tap the right customer at the right time.
Just visualize the kind of power actually app gives you in terms of reaching out to the customer, notification, lot of things. I mean, lot of innovation can be done.
Absolutely. So when you onboard the customer for the first time, there is a cost of onboarding assigned to it. Now that cost of onboarding obviously will be higher on our side because the conversion ratio is very less. But if I have to, reassess that customer, if I have to, refund that customer, the cost of onboarding goes down. Because I already have that customer touch base. I just have to throw a notification that you are eligible for a second cycle loan, third cycle loan. You just need a consent. One field investigation is done to that customer. That business is looking fine. The business location has not changed. Stability is as it is. And, inventory is in place. And that loan is done. He's coming down to your place, getting it signed, loan is disbursed. So the potential this application built in this ecosystem is huge. We have deployed certain games and we were surprised to see that people are still playing, Ludo and Mario games. We built that in-house and that was a fascinating factor to me. And now coming to the, another 3, 4, 5 years of time. See, we have evolved as an institute. There was a phase when the core banking solutions were deployed. I was one of the, initial, you can say it was my initial career where I was the core member in deployment of CBS solutions across bank. I worked for many bigger banks, cooperative and, domestic bank. Now, after that, the mobile application era came. After mobile application, now it's the time when the AI or the machine learning things are coming up because somewhere the field team, the sales team is not going to be diminished. To the customer I'm serving today, I cannot say that I'm going to cut down the, sales team and I'll do something technically very good and I'll be good in recovery and I'll be good in sales. It cannot happen, I can tell you. I at least did not see happening this in 5-10 years because such population with such distribution need a lot of time, be it the government or be it any institution to build that ecosystem.
Absolutely.
Now, what is that which can help you? First is the set of data that you ask from your customer.
Right.
So when I underwrite a customer, my customer is one where they don't have any formal source of income.
Right.
I just have to go, I have to look after their house, I have to look after their business, I have to look after their family. That is there any old parents? Is there anyone who is bedridden?
Right.
How many children are there? How many of them are going school, private or government? And if private, how much is the fee?
Right.
What is the area of house? Is there a bed? Everything we capture.
Right.
Now, when you put all these information into a model, this I'm not talking about AI, it's a generic machine learning model I'm telling you. Once you deploy this model at least will give you an insight then when this customer will graduate and will need a two-wheeler loan.
Right.
When this customer will graduate and he might need an education loan for his kid.
Right.
Fine.
Right.
So we are thinking towards that direction where we are building a platform for the emerging middle class. The customer to whom I am serving today, we classify them as an emerging middle class, which is just above the microfinance, segment. And there they need some personalized services where they will not wait for you to come and, you ask that, sir, do you need that?
Right.
You need a model where the model should tell them that you need a two-wheeler this time because your son is now 18 years old.
Yes.
You need an education loan because your son is now 15, 16. He might go to college, be it government or whatever is that. You might need a assistance in placement because if I'm operating in Jobner and covering around 40 kilometers of radius, many of them can be my employees as well. And we are absolutely open to it. So this is the potential of machine learning and AI which can bring in place. Now, let's say if I am today at 40,000 in 3 years of time, we have been expanding across Maharashtra, MP, will go towards Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and all. The branch count will come around 250.
Right.
As soon as you add up your branch, the employee count will increase, the customer base will increase.
Right.
Expectation, the TAT to address their queries, the TAT to underwrite that customer will also be a challenging thing because competitors are also growing at the same pace, and there is no doubt bigger NBFCs will come to that level to serve because somewhere you also need to add new products to your segment.
Right.
There, the AI can help you build a model which at least can be very helpful in terms of customer servicing.
Right.
I see that as a very potential thing.
Right.
Fraud is one of the component again where the AI is going to play a substantial role. I will tell you because we have a way forward to it. We have a roadmap to it, and we are building because there is an ecosystem, and you take one step after each other.
Right.
Onboarding is one component. Then you'll do on the risk assessment. The fraud is the other one. Customer support is the one. And obviously, covering all these, you will need a strong regulation, strong compliances in place where this AI is going to help you out.
Right.
Likewise, the recent guideline from RBI is about DPDP Act.
Yes.
This is so detailed that if you go back and if you check the last digital lending guideline and if you compare it with the DPDP, it's you need a set of bench of compliance guys to set it up.
How soon do you think DPD Act possibly? Obviously, it's coming. I mean, it has been passed, and the guideline will be by and large is out. How soon do you think that for organization like yours, it will become mandatory and possibly be ready to somehow align with the guidelines?
So for REs, what I believe that this financial year will give you insight.
Right.
Because the document is, the policy is published.
Yes.
It is enforced. By the time you get into your stat audits, they may come up and they ask. I am also in touch with many of the players just to ensure that we don't short on time.
Right.
And probably we have been meeting few agencies who have just mastered over it, that how you can they will assist you to ensure that DPDP Act is in place. And by large, I believe we should be prepared by this financial year, the one which is coming up, to ensure that this is in place.
Right.
And it's necessary. By DPDP, even though we feel it's very stringent in terms of control, but that the beauty is that it's well defined.
Yes.
There is, the policymakers whosoever have defined that policy, it is so well curated that now you will compete in the global market.
Right.
See, the challenge with the global market and in India market is that we always put our policies in a on a lower side,
yes.
And hence you cannot go back in the ecosystem there and you can compete.
Right.
But with the new government in place, the regulations and all, I believe they are pulling up us to that level where you can compete with the global market.
Absolutely.
So that we also can get in. Who is holding you back?
Right.
So that I believe will be a very fascinating thing, and we should get it done by this financial year.
Mr. Atul, thank you so much for taking a time for this podcast. I think you spoke quite well, especially on AI, the diversity in terms of the lending and also the security part, DPDP Act. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.